Hey, everybody, welcome to What's Up with Pastor Chuck. And I want to start by telling you something personal. I feel like I'm starting to get my life back. Now, why is that? Well, if you were watching last Wednesday, you saw that the COVID crisis became very real for Crossroads. We had a lot of people exposed. We had quite a few people who tested positive, and it was pretty lonely around here. But today I've got the team back, and they're healthy, and super cool to be here with you guys. Super excited for that. And so we're getting ready to start a whole new series of What's Up with Pastor Chuck's for 2021. And so today's podcast is going to be talking about where we're headed with that and what we're going to be doing. But I want to say this, that what we're going to be doing is initially two things. Now, I need to probably parentheses. If something happens in the world, we may stop and deal with that, which something will happen in the world. I promise. I don't have to promise, it will. So anyway, but then we are going to deal with two big topics during the first part of this year that I think is going to be super important for you to know. One, we're going to do relationships. That actually comes second. But we're going to talk about relationships and how to have strong relationships and how to have healthy relationships and how you can be the right person to create great relationships for other people and vice versa. And so I'm super excited about that. And so I can't wait to talk to you about it. So that'll actually make your marriage better. But if you're single, get ready. We're going to talk about how you can actually become far more attractive by having the right heart, because that's always where it starts. Now, what I want to tell you is Marlon, he doesn't care about that. Well, he cares about his heart. But Marlon's engaged. Yes. Yeah. So we're super excited for you and for Jacqueline. And so anyway, congratulations. And so we're excited for that. So this will help your engagement. This will help your marriage. Right now, Lauren and Tracy, we are looking for the right men for you.
Now you get it too, Lauren.
Yeah. So Tracy's always the target of that. But by the way, let me be honest. She's also the target of my prayer. I actually genuinely pray about this. And so, but anyway, this is about finding the right guy. So I think you guys should be praying the right guy listens and gets it right, so he'll become the right guy. A lot of you guys out there, you need some help. But anyway, which I'm going to totally go off script. All right, this to me is super funny. My oldest son, Rich, is the best practical joker in the world. And I mean, he probably really is. And one of our youth pastors, when my son Rich was in high school, got into a practical joke war with my son Rich, which is not a good idea. And so this guy's name is Bill, and Bill Haydorn, actually, and he was our high school pastor. And so he's tried to play practical jokes on Rich. So Rich, actually what he did is he made a really cool looking poster that said, "How to Be a Real Man" seminar with Bill Haydorn, with Bill's picture on it, and Bill's real phone number and real email. And then my son Rich, who was not 21, went and put these posters up in bars, like biker bars. And Bill didn't look like a biker. Okay, I think it's funny. I don't know if you think it's funny, but Bill started getting these calls from these bikers in the middle of the night saying, "So you want to teach me to be a real man?" I'm sorry, I had to tell that. The reason I guess I'm laughing is because some of you are saying, "Well, Chuck, you better have good relationships if you're telling other people how to." But we're going to talk about what the Bible says and what we know from research that will give you great relationships in your life. And so this year, I want that to be a great year of relationships. You can have those even in the midst of some of this supposed isolation that's going on, and be able to have the best relationships ever with your friends, with people who could potentially be a romantic partner, with your romantic partners, with engaged, with married, and hey, Bob, this is a super important one, with your kids. Because you know what? You need to have great relationships with your kids. And so we're going to talk about how to make that happen and how that can be real for you. So that's one of the topics we're going to talk about. That's number 2. Before we get to that, though, starting next week, we're going to go into the topic number 1. And topic number 1 is leadership. You right now, somehow, some way, are a person of influence in someone's life, which means you're a leader. And you and I need to use our leadership abilities to our best. Now, here's what it says in Judges 5:1. It says, then Deborah and Barak, the son of Abinoam, sang on that day a saying, and the leaders led in Israel, that the people volunteered, bless the Lord. The leaders led in Israel. The people volunteered, bless the Lord. Why would I want to talk about leadership so much? Because I know it matters, but it matters to God. It matters to you. It matters to everybody around you. When leaders lead well, everybody benefits, and even more, God is blessed. And leadership is a vital topic, which you can get better at. John Maxwell has written an incredible thing on what's called the law of the lid. And he talks about whatever level of leadership you are, you can lead people who are under that level. But one of the things I believe, and I think Maxwell believes too, you can grow your leadership level. And so we all want to be doing that. It's an ever-growing, ever-changing process. So when we talk about leadership, I want to talk to you about what does the Bible say actually is the best definition of a leader and how you lead well. Now, some of you might be watching and listening and saying, well, is the Bible the best book on this? Well, the answer is yes, it is. There's a man named Jim Collins, who's one of the most acclaimed experts on leadership out there. He did hours and hours and hours of study on leadership, and he came up with what he was called the level 5 leader. He said there's 5 levels of leadership, level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's a level 5 leader, which is the height of leadership. Collins said this, the only true level 5 leader there's ever been was Jesus Christ. Now, I think that's interesting. He believed it, but he was saying it from the research he found. When they began to discover what was the most effective form of leadership, it's the way that Jesus led and the way Jesus wants us to lead. And so we're going to be discussing that, looking at that. I would say this, I hope you're a Christian, I hope you're a follower of Christ, but it doesn't matter. This is the best tried and true proven approach to leadership out there. You'll be a better leader in anywhere arena of your life if you lead according to the way Jesus led. So clearly we want to start with that and talk about what does it mean to be a level 5 leader and to lead the way that Jesus leads. We also want to talk about this one. Get ready. When you want to do effective leadership, there are 3 kinds of people that you need to recruit to help you do leadership. Leaders always lead in teams, by the way. But no leader leads in isolation. If you're in isolation, there's no one to lead, so you're not a leader. Okay. All right. So that makes sense. But here's the other thing I want you to know is that there are 3 kinds of people you always want to look for to have around you so you can be an effective leader and you can make positive change. You might be a little surprised what those 3 are, but I'm not going to tell you now. We'll be getting to that in next week or 2. And I want to talk about that and how you can find people like that in your life and how you can team up with them for effective change. I want to talk about the need to plan. The Bible says the plans of the diligent surely lead to abundance or victory. And so I want to talk about how planning is such an important part, but how, by the way, you ready for this? Prayerful planning is even more effective. I want to talk to you about your unique leadership ability. So we're going to get into the Enneagram. And I'm not going to do a huge in-depth on the Enneagram, even though I love the Enneagram. But the Enneagram is super, super important to understanding the way you would lead best. So, for instance, I found out that Marlon is a 9 on the Enneagram. Is that right? Yep. Yeah. Tracy's a 9 on the Enneagram. And by the way, when I hired Tracy, I didn't hire her as to be my assistant. She is one of the best leaders I know and has been very, very effective in leadership. But she leads as a 9. She does that. Lauren's a 9 on the Enneagram. Oh, you're not a 9. Lauren's not a very good lead. No, I'm kidding. No, actually, I'm just kidding. I was totally, I did veg out. I'm not going to hide that. I vegged out. Lauren's a 2 on the Enneagram. Lauren told me this. Before she was a Christian, she was a 4, and now she's a 2. So all you fours can be converted. But it really matters. Like your unique personality matters to your leadership ability. And so I want you to know that and understand how that feeds into your leadership and how that makes you a better leader. But here's the thing. We also want to talk about great leaders never do it alone. And they always surround themselves with other people who are stronger in areas than they are. I think one of the best signs of a leader, I'm probably getting a little ahead of myself, is you have to always find people who are better than you are. On our church staff, we were talking about this before we did the podcast, have what I think is an amazing teaching team. And whenever anybody on my team does well, I want to tell you, I don't sit and say, oh, what about me? Man, I want to be their biggest cheerleader. I want every one of them to be better teachers and better preachers than I am. And you know what? I genuinely want that for them. And so, you know what? My goal is to always see them soar and to lift them up. Great leaders do that. You want other people to shine. You want other people to get stronger. You want other people to get better. And so that to me is the sign of a great leader. And by the way, that's going to come back to what's a biblical leader too. And so we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about, get ready for this, women leadership. And we're going to talk about women and leadership in the church. That may become a controversial one, but that's okay because we want to get to what the truth is. And I want to talk about how, by the way, I believe, and I'm going to go ahead and tip my hand on this, if a man is a great leader, he's not threatened by a woman who's a great leader. And a woman who's a great leader is not threatened by a man who's a great leader. And one of our dreams here at Crossroads is to unleash everybody to be the best they can be, which means we want to raise up strong men and women leaders, or strong women and men leaders. We want to raise up strong leaders, period. Matter of fact, I'll just do another parentheses moment. We want to raise up leaders of the next generation who get to lead now. You know, sometimes we act like, well, you know, they're the church of the future. No, they're the church of now and today. And I want their leadership to be shown today in the now moment of what's happening. So we're going to talk about leadership. Now, I know I'm talking about a lot. I'm hoping it gets you excited. So here's what I want you to do. Pray about who you are, your talents, your abilities, your gifts. Then start praying about how you can be a stronger leader and you can also have better relationships. And make sure you watch all the weeks that are coming. Invite other people to do it too. If you're not subscribed, subscribe now. Why? Because then you'll get a notice that it's coming and on each topic that's about to hit. And so what's up with Pastor Chuck is what's up in your leadership ability and how to get better and what's up in your relationships. So super excited for that. That is coming and get ready. It starts next week.